Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. We're talking about the case of Jack and Lilly Sullivan, who vanished from their Pictou County, Nova Scotia home on May 2nd, 2025. Since then, there has been no sighting of where Jack or Lilly are, and we're still searching. But recently, Mr. Daniel Martell, the stepfather of Jack and Lilly, he's actually the mother's boyfriend, but we call him the stepfather. He is being charged on unrelated charges for DV and other things. And we're going to go over some stuff tonight. Is an arrest coming soon? Got a lot to talk about on the other side of this.
I've walked through storms in scars and grace. Smile through pain with a painted face.
Thank you, Miss
They
Mama.
called me too
Appreciate
loud,
you very
too
much.
much, too strong. But honey, that's the reason I belong.
Let's sing
Every
it.
scar's a scripture, every tear's a hymn. I found
Nobody.
my worth where the light grew dim. They tried to break me, but here's a twist. I turned my pain into a clenched fist. I'm an unbreakable woman, born of fire and pearl. I shine like grace in a reckless world. You can test my faith, you can shake my plan, but I'll rise again. Just watch me
How you doing, girl?
I've been whispered about and written off, judged by the gloss, not the cause. But God don't build weak hearts from gold. He made me fierce and he made me bold. I bend, I pray, I roar, I rise with mascara, tears and battle cries. Don't need your crown, I forge my own. From ashes, honey, I build my throne. I'm an unbreakable soul, dressed in truth and pearls. The fire don't scare me, it lights my world. You can doubt my voice, but you'll hear my name. I'm holy and hood, and I'm done with shame. For everyone called too much, too loud, too real. You're not to anything. You're exactly what power looks like. I'm an unbreakable soul, through the fight and flame. My scars are stories, my strength, my faith. Faith in my heart, fire in my glove, forever divine. Clutch them pearls.
Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, nothing cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust, hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten them pearls, drop the cold facts. Got the truth for the world, no smoke, no fluff. Just the real that we trust, hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch. Coming in clutch, better tighten the pearls, dropping cold facts. got the truth for the world. No smoke, no fluff, just the real that we trust. Hold on to your seat, cause I'm coming in clutch. Coming in clutch.
Well, hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. Really do appreciate your time. You could have chosen to be anywhere on YouTube. You have a lot of options, anywhere on the internet, anywhere in the world, and you chose to be right here. And your time is very valuable, and I do appreciate you spending some time with me. Today is February 28th, the last day of February, March. Here we come, 2026, and it is currently 9:19 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Boy, cool. Hello. Go, rocket. Hello, darlings. Good to see you all. Really do appreciate you all. Hopefully, you all are doing well out there. Good to see everyone in chat. Tonight, we're talking about Jack and Lilly Sullivan. I've kind of felt like I've neglected the case the last few weeks, to be quite honest with you. But then I think, Justin, you've devoted so much time over the last so many months on this case, and you got to talk about other cases too. But I know Daphne and I had this conversation because we are so invested in Jack and Lily's case that it means a lot to a lot of us, you know that. And there's not really anything going on with Nancy's case today. So I figured we'll do Jack and Lily tonight. And I was noticing the dates. And like I said, March is pretty much here, last day of February. And Daniel goes to court soon. Yes, he does, Crazy Buck. Yes, he does. He's got it coming right on up. Justin, do you have the audio call from Janie 2 weeks ago? I got to hear it again. I've not heard it, Nancy. If anyone has that, if you could, we'll listen to it. I have not even listened to it yet. I did hear about it, but I've not listened to it. And I would love to listen to it, actually. Where did it come from? All of that. If someone mentioned it to me, was my son's birthday today. Happy birthday to your little son, little Blackbird. Happy birthday. Tell your son happy birthday from all the pearls. I think so too. Kayak. I do too. Let me message Daff. Hold on. Let me message Daff. Daff. Hey, darling. Do you have the Janie? Okay. I just text her and asked her. If anyone has it, you can text it or email it to me. Let me drop this right here. Where does it go? Where did it go? You can text it to 307-228-4906 or alljustice, the number 4, the letter U, at gmail.com. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, we'll listen to it. I've not heard it. I have a Leap Day grandbaby. Oh my goodness. I had a friend in school who was a Leap Day baby as well. I thought I was frozen. Is it me frozen? Please don't tell me I'm frozen. Please. You never heard about it? Does Ninchi have it? Mike Denman has it, and Daphne, the other lady, was playing it. Okay. Did Daphne do a video on it? Hold on one second. Let me look. Let me see what my girl Ninchi or Daphne is doing. One of the two. Guys, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate that. Also, share the live out would mean so much. Where did Daphne have it? Let me see here. Ninchi. Let's see here. When would Ninchi? When did Ninchi do? Is Ninchi? Are you in here yet? Janie doesn't seem to have grandmother of missing children. I don't want to like play your whole video or anything. I just want the recording. Daphne got it off a live video with shenanigans. I'm frozen. Perfect. Why I am freezing? That's not good. Let me text Daph again. Okay. No, I'm not frozen. Go out and come back in and return, folks. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, if somebody's got it, I'll play it in court soon, and we're going to go. Oh no, my internet better not. It better not, people. I had a lot of trouble last night with it. Okay. If it does anything else, let me know. It just kind of flashed for me. Janie refers often to the kids being relayed, and then she says they are alive. These messages are confusing. Listen, Janie knows, in my opinion. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Daniel and Malaya, in my opinion, know what happened. I mean, Daniel is the biggest blabbermouth that ever was, stretched skin over, really. Miss Mama 3, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Oh, I'm not going to do the clap anymore. We're not going to do the clap anymore. I'm going to do something
I hope
else.
people are paying attention to this.
Welcome to Clutch Them Pearls, yeah, you're in the clue. Shine bright like the stars, this world never knew. We're dancing, laughing all around this world. Hold tight, shine bright, you're part of our world.
Thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you, my love. Thank you so much. Good to see you. They only played at one time, and they only played it at one time, and they didn't break it down. I got to hear it again. You got to hear this. I'll listen. I will listen to that. Thank you so much, my dear. And Miss Charlotte, thank you so very much for 8 months. You are a legend, my dear.
That's facts.
Thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you very much. You're a rock star, darling. Yes, Summers. I know. Happy birthday, Miss Summer. Mike Demand got the new audio clips from Janie. Justin, that's loud. It's gotta wake you up. It's gotta wake you up. Okay, here we go. Let's we're gonna go to our friend DD, Mr. Deception Detective. And he says that they are cooked. Daniel is cooked, and I'm here for it. I think a lot of us are. It's obviously that Daniel is a buffoon, but it's very interesting now that getting closer to court Monday, right? That Mr. Daniel, he's been really quiet, like from what I've seen at least, right? Dreamcatcher, almost 2 years. Girl, appreciate you
Now we running it back so
very
mad. Big name, big
much.
flame. You the tag on a plaque saying that.
Thank you so much, my love. Appreciate you. You are a rock star. Thank you so much for your continued support, my dear. Good to see you. Hey, Pam. Good to see you, love.
29th, Martell was charged with assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. He has not responded to requests for comment on the charges, but
Again, you've got to be a pretty sick mofo to SA somebody like, he's being charged for, not convicted yet, innocent until proven guilty. Okay, sorry, I just got a message from Daph. So, and not only that, forcible confinement. It's interesting because if you think about it and remember, Malaya did say that she was held down before, and Daniel would take her phone, but she says that was it. That was it. And we knew that wasn't all. We knew that wasn't all. But Malaya also says things, was Daniel ever abusive to the kids? Right? And in the documents, she says no. She says no in the RCMP documents. Now, the reason, in my opinion, she said that was because of CPS, right? Was because of CPS. But I do believe that Daniel was absolutely abusive, in my opinion, right? Let me write this down. Deception detective. 1 second. And I got to give him credit. Guys, make sure you drop Deception Detectives, our big DD. Make sure you drop his and sub up to Deception Detective. Become a member over there if you can. He would love your support, I'm sure, as well. One of the best on YouTube, if you ask me.
in early January, he sat down for an interview with CBC. Martell says RCMP took a blood sample from him in December, and he says there was a box checked on the consent.
They took a
blood sample from him in December.
They took a blood sample from him in December. Now, we know the wheels of justice turn very slowly, very slowly. And in my opinion, this is a separate case than Jack and Lilly, but very many times, just like something, a civil case will become criminal later on, I believe, in my opinion, that this case will, again, that is separate from Jack and Lilly, but it will bleed over into Jack and Lily's case eventually, and will be very important.
And he says there was a box checked on the consent form that said no criminal involvement.
I've known for, since the start that I'm 100% innocent.
Okay, I got the
Canadian
link, guys.
police have finally arrested Daniel Martell, the stepdad.
I got the link for that, and we'll listen to that next of
missing Nova Scotian tots, Lilly and Jack Sullivan. And while none of the charges relate directly to the disappearance just yet, I think that's going to change really soon, especially if this new CBC interview is anything to go by. So in today's video, let's watch it together and count all the red flags. I'm Deception Detective, an attorney trained in statement analysis. This channel exposes lies and manipulation, so if that's your thing, hit subscribe. For early access to new videos, over 60 exclusive videos, and other cool perks, consider becoming a channel member. Link in description. This is the third major update in this case in just as many weeks. So whether you're new to this case or you just haven't been following along, here's a quick recap before we dive into this new interview. On January 15, 2026, unsealed court documents revealed that Malaya Brooks Murray, the mother of Lilly and Jack Sullivan, had accused Daniel Martell of physical abuse. The very next day, Daniel gave an interview to Global News denying the claims, which we covered in my last video in this series. And just 10 days after that interview on January 26th, Daniel was arrested for physically abusing an adult. In other words, the interview we're about to watch here was recorded just weeks before Daniel's arrest, but it's only just now been released. Let's start watching.
Okay, Daniel. So what's the latest with this case?
I think we're gonna have to dive into some questions so I can, really try to answer that, because I mean, there's so much. But what I can say is my blood was taken or drawn, and they got a few drops in my blood for that, check my DNA, because my DNA is obviously going to be on the blanket.
How did that go when they took your sample? Did they take you into the station?
I just realized he said that right there. My DNA is obviously going to be on the blanket. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Your blood or your DNA is not going to be necessarily on that blanket, but you're telling on yourself really big there. You are just openly saying, yeah, they took my DNA because it's obviously going to be on that blanket. Mother chicken. That's weird. If they know something is obviously going to be on there, Daniel, why are they looking more into it? Rickson, yeah. Yeah, he only spoke on that blanket right there. I just now noticed that. It's so good to go back. Watch this.
Blood was taken or drawn,
Let me
so I
see here.
can, really try to answer that, because I mean, there's so much. But what I can say is my blood was taken or drawn, and they got a few drops in my blood for that, check my DNA, because my DNA is obviously going to be on the blanket.
That's so interesting. That's very interesting that he says that. He's an arsonist, in my opinion. Absolutely, he is. That wasn't the question. The question was, did they, take your DNA? It had, and it kind of makes me wonder about the RCMP is obviously, in my opinion, questioning him about that blanket more. They're obviously questioning him, and he's associating him. And this is another question, Daniel. You know how you were flat out blaming rather, Malaya's sister and other people for planting that blanket? Remember that, Daniel? Question, did they take their DNA? Did they take Malaya's sister's DNA? The one you were flat out accusing, Daniel? Bet you they didn't. Bet you they didn't. But they're taking your DNA because of that. Not the person that you said planted it. And, I've got your messages where you says the blanket was obviously planted. You actually have said with your own lips that the RCMP said that it was 100% planted. Now let's think about this, Daniel. You said that this blanket is 100% planted. One, right? Number two, you just said that they took your DNA. And number three, you said because DNA of yours is going to be found on that blanket. And number four, you said it was obviously that it was planted 100%. And then you said that the blanket just didn't grow wings and fly there. Not good. Not good.
How did that go when they took your sample? Did they take you into the station?
Yeah, it was done at the station. An investigator did it. They have an applicator, which, they hit the end of your finger with it, just like you were testing for your blood sugar. Just, pinch the end of your finger, and I had to squeeze for 20 minutes to get some blood out. But after we get those 4 drops out, it goes onto a little pad, and it's put in a envelope and then plastic bag.
You had to squeeze for 20 minutes to get a blood drop out? Damn, that math really dries it out, doesn't it, Daniel? Dries everything out. It dries it all out. It's just heartbreaking, sure, and frustrating, I hope. I think they do. I think they do.
And then sealed up for evidence.
The journalist gave Daniel the opportunity to talk about anything. All she said is, "What's the latest?" And what did he talk about? Well, he didn't talk about the $150,000 reward for tips about Lilly and Jack. He didn't talk about what searchers discovered right by his house just days before this interview was done.
That's right, because he doesn't care. Right? It's never been about Jack or Lilly. It's never been about Jack or Lilly. It's only about how innocent.
Nor did he talk about how suspicious it is that Malaya, the kid's own mother, disappeared the day after she reported them missing, and her version of events contradicts his. Out of all the things he could have talked about, and believe me, I know there are plenty, this is my 36th video about this case, he decided to talk about how good he was about voluntarily giving blood to match up to the blanket, which A, is not the priority I would expect of the stepfather of missing children, because I would expect him to be focused on getting help finding the kids
Bingo.
rather than proving his own innocence. And B, makes me really curious about that blanket. Remember, when people spontaneously bring something up, it usually means that they're sensitive about it. And speaking of sensitivity, I think you're about to see why the
He's very sensitive about it. Remember, he would not speak about that blanket. And you've got to remember, he is the only one that lied about that blanket. He's the only one. We have it. He originally denied to the media that was Lily's blanket. Days later, he admitted it was. Malaya said instantly that it was Lily's blanket. Why are you the only one lying on it, Daniel? Now they're checking for your DNA on that, which you said it's obviously going to be on there. And you said it's planted. You wouldn't talk about it. You denied it. And then you said it is Lily's blanket. You said you threw part of it out in the trash whenever there was, think about this, part of the pink blanket. Daniel said, a pink blanket. Part of it was in the trash. Part of it was conveniently on the back porch. And part of it was sitting way up in a tree where Jack or Lilly didn't walk there and put it in a kilometer away. Hey, Miss Joy, it's good to see you, darling. What is it that the blanket freaks him out? Was it used in the commission of a crime? Well, I think it's planting false evidence. That would be my guess. That would be my guess.
RCMP has been so critical of people like me and other armchair detectives, because if what Daniel says in this next part is true, investigators have made some massive mistakes.
Do you know of anyone else who had their sample taken?
No. I was never disclosed any of.
Well, like I said, Daniel, I bet you they aren't taking anybody else's DNA, maybe Malaya's, but I doubt it. I don't think that they're taking Malaya's DNA, and they're certainly not taking Malaya's sister's DNA for that pink blanket, like you said she planted, right? We'll get to that in a second.
Nor do I ask, because I know I would not get an answer in return.
Right. You've been asking questions.
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions.
I bet you do.
Sometimes they can't answer.
And was
Okay.
that voluntary, or did they?
That was
call you?
100% voluntary. They never have to get a warrant to do anything. I'm always cooperative. Just like in the past,
Cooperation does not mean innocence. Let's get that straight. It does not mean innocent, right? Doesn't mean guilty.
I keep asking them, do you want my phone? Do you want me to do more polygraphs? Like I'm open to everything. And I always tell them that.
Do you want your phone? Well, they took your phone, right? In the beginning?
They said, Daniel, no, we don't need your phone.
They already know, Daniel. That's fine.
Daniel, no, it's not necessary to do any more polygraphs.
You said you wanted more polygraphs.
So
I told you I would pay for one if you would do a certain polygraph. I would pay for it.
at this point, I'm very cooperative, you know. And when they did up the paper for consent on my DNA, you know, they fill in the paper, you know, May 2nd, missing persons case for Jack and Lilly. And then they go through it. And then there's the box check for criminal involvement, no criminal involvement. And they check the box for no criminal involvement. And I put my signature on it.
Well, you know, Daniel, that would be interesting, right? That would be interesting because if they checked no criminal involvement, that's really big, right? So you would think that the RCMP would have came out and just flat out cleared you. I'm muted. Okay. Not muted. Muted. You guys can hear me? Making a show of yourself in the media is not cooperating or helping. Okay. Must be their electronic or YouTube.
Now, where's my consent?
How did you feel when you saw that box was checked?
Very happy.
You know, oh, guys, I got a commercial. 1 second. He looks very, very stressed to be very cleared, right? 4:53.
On January 29th, Martell was.
He looks very stressed to be clear, doesn't he?
Very happy.
First of all, if you're actually innocent, the police thinking you're innocent isn't some sort of big win worth celebrating. It's the bare minimum. But more importantly, if I heard correctly,
exactly. You know, if he thought he was, you know, if innocence wasn't such a big deal to him, right? Why is he constantly talking about it? Exactly. Good point. Why is he constantly talking about innocence? Because again, guys, I always say, you do what is most important to you. People do say what is most important to them. Everyone always gets their message across, right? And his is not about Jack or Lilly. It's only about they've cleared me or whatever. If you're cleared, you're cleared. You don't need to talk about it. If you're innocent, you don't need to talk about it because you know you're innocent. You're more focused on finding the children. That's the objective here. But it's not with Daniel. Me. Yes. Wait till you hear Janie about being innocent. Oh, we'll hear that next. Oh my God. I might blow a gasket.
Daniel said the police rejected his offer to search his phone. And if that's true, that's definitely something they should be sensitive about. Although there is a silver lining, as I suggested in the intro. Now that they have him arrested on criminal charges, they can and definitely should search his phone. Now, to be fair to the RCMP, Daniel might have meant that they simply turned down a second search of his phone, kind of like them rejecting his offer to do another
Yes. Yes. But here's my thing. We know Daniel is a proven liar on many things that we have easily proven he is lied about. But what's interesting, the day that Jack and Lilly, when he went to go search for Jack and Lilly when they first went missing, he says that he didn't take his phone. But every other day after that, he took his phone, he recorded 20 minutes worth of video, he used his flashlight. He said, even though he didn't take his phone when he first went searching, he said he used his flashlight on his phone to look in the culverts, in that whole 10 minutes.
polygraph. But frankly, I'm not so sure. The RCMP may literally have not searched Daniel Martell's phone, even though he offered to let them do so. And the reason I say that is it wouldn't even be their biggest blunder. It wouldn't even be the biggest blunder that Daniel brings up in this interview. Listen to what Daniel says in this next part about the polygraph test they administered to him, the thing he constantly points to prove his innocence. This is unbelievable. Listen to this.
So it's your understanding you believe that RCMP do not consider you a suspect?
I'd say 100% I'm not considered as a suspect at this point.
Why is that?
I mean,
Boy, that's the most confident answer, right? I would say 100%. Well, do you just hear what he says? He just said in the same fucking interview, that he watched them sign where he was innocent. You just said in the interview, you watched them sign that you were innocent. You're not good at this, Daniel. You're really not good at this. Jesus.
from that box being checked. But we can also go back to when I had my polygraph exam. When we went over the questions beforehand, all the questions were on death.
Very good point. Very good point, Charlotte. You're not a suspect, but they're still taking your blood. Why? Why would you be? Why? They're taking your blood, and you're saying of course your DNA is on it, but you're cleared, but you're pretty sure that you're 100% innocent. He might be delusional. He's definitely, in my opinion, delusional.
Right? So they concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. And there was no questions on the disappearance.
The murder of Lilly and Jack. Think about this. There's nothing to suggest that Jack or Lilly walked out of the house by themselves. There's a disappearance. How that disappearance happened, we don't know. But there's nothing to suggest that they actually walked out by themselves. But how rare is it for two children to go missing like this? Extraordinarily rare. It is extraordinarily rare for them to go missing and at least not one of them being found. It is, I can't think of a neglectful. Can you guys see me? Of a neglectful reason why you could say it's a, they got into rugs or whatever, but that would be a neglectful death. That's what I call a neglectful accident. Yeah, you didn't mean him to get in the rugs, but you shouldn't have the rugs out for the kids, right? So, in my opinion, yes, they were murdered. They were murdered, in my opinion. That, in my opinion, is the biggest probability now. And I think that is the reason why they questioned in the polygraph the disappearance and or murder of Jack and Lilly. Because you got to think about it. You got to break this down. Nothing to suggest that they walked out on their own. At all. At all. What's the likelihood of them getting out of the yard and all that? Nobody hearing. Everyone was completely asleep at just the right times. All of them, all the adults on the property, but were awake at, times where they could hear them or whatever. And then Jack, who doesn't like to walk in the woods or anything like that, them get out, them not being found very shortly, because most children are found very shortly and very closely afterwards. Right? And then it's just really that there's just no other thing that I can think of. Right? Oh, I don't give a damn if he passed a polygraph or look at him. Look at him. This is someone who has willingly admitted that has smoked meth every single day for years. He's not wired right. Number one, in my opinion. Number two, he is used to lying, not used to feeling all of that. That's why I said, Daniel, you want another polygraph? I told you this channel will pay for it. I'll pay for it. I'll give you a specific, it's got to be a specific questions, specific type of polygraph test. Let's go. Let's go. No, patterns don't lie. Yeah. Yeah. Now he's being charged with egregious things. Egregious things. Yeah. There's a reason they can't be used in court and all that.
Or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature. So that leaves me with, I didn't murder the kids. I have nothing to do with the disappearance.
It's so weird to go back when you've not listened to heard anything in a few weeks, to go back. He goes from nobody abducted them or unalived them, so that clears me.
To do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. And there was no questions on the disappearance or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature.
And, and again, Daniel lies so much, you just don't know what's the damn truth or not. But to me, it's very interesting if the RCMP didn't even ask if there was an abduction to Daniel, or I guess Malaya, right? That's very interesting to me because it says they know that they weren't abducted, even though Malaya and Daniel has always made it, like Malaya text, I have reason to believe that someone took the kids. And Daniel has pointed after they broke up and even to recently that family members took the kids. To me, the questions that he says RCMP asked him was only about the murder or death of Jack and Lilly. And that shows me, in my opinion, that nothing points to them being abducted or walking away. They didn't question anything in the polygraph questions. If the RCMP thought they were abducted or they walked away or whatever, you would think that there would be some questions in there about that with the polygraph test. That points in my direction that they only think that they were unalived, the death and or murder. It's big.
So that leaves me with, I didn't murder the kids. I have nothing to do with the disappearance because they did not ask any questions on that.
And so you mentioned that in the polygraph, they didn't ask you about the disappearance and whether you had anything to do with it. But I'm going to ask, did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
Besides Daniel referring to the murder of Lilly and Jack with the definite article "the," implying he thinks it's a real thing that actually happened, what jumped out to me here obviously was
Very
the
good
fact
point,
that the
DD.
polygrapher
Very
never
good
asked
point.
him about anything besides murdering the kids. In other words, he was only questioned about one of the least likely scenarios, write down there was stranger kidnapping, instead of the most likely scenario, the parents being responsible. And even though I don't think much of polygraphs, I've spoken about it in other videos in this series, that's arguably an even bigger blunder than not searching his phone when he offered it to them on a silver platter. Now that Daniel's finally been arrested, I hope they take a moment to reflect and actually do some investigating, like searching his phone and actually interrogating him. In the meantime, we'll keep investigating right here. And by the way, we're only halfway through this interview, so if you want to continue, let me know by liking, commenting, and sharing. Until next time, stay true.
Thank you, DD. Appreciate you. Very, very good video, as always. That is very interesting. I truly believe if he, and you know what's interesting? I truly believe if he would take another polygraph test, he would fail. You know what's interesting to me is Miss Janie. Her physiology was not allegedly a good candidate for the polygraph test. I would love to see video of the way she was acting that day, because I bet you she was all over the place. I bet you she was all over the place. And if 3 would have taken a polygraph, that would have been a lot more interesting to me, in my opinion. Okay, 13909. 1 second here. Miss 13909. Give me a second. Guys, do me a favor if you're just joining us, make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Shenanigans and Daphne. Oh, this is from today. Daphne was live earlier. I must have missed that. And they are, I guess, playing Mike Damon. He was, thank you for sharing, Green Eyes. Appreciate you, my friend. I guess spoke with Janie. Just lay there, Sherry. You can take us to bed, the cell phone. Just lay it Sometimes I just put the cell phone beside my pillow. I'm tired.
Just put it up to your mic.
Okay.
There, I gave you enough information for your next
So this is Janie talking to Mike, right?
show. Go on and make a fool out of me, because that's all you guys love to do.
Perfect.
Look at the facts, man. Look at the facts. Go back and do your research. Go back and look at her side. Look, why is her family just coming out now saying all this? Why didn't they come out before? I waited 2 months. Yes, I waited 2 months. And I got so many accusations and humiliation against me that I thought I would come out and tell you something. Yes, I come out and told the story, and I had it done here so I could show everybody where everything took place and what happened. The kids are not here, not dead on this property. We did not unalive those kids.
Yes, Joyce.
If they did, the cadaver dogs would have found something, don't you think? Do your research, man. Stop listening to all the bullshit. Do your research. Look at all the facts. We told you everything you need to know.
The facts are, Janie, your son is a lying POS. That's the facts. And on many things. And number two, there is no way in hell you could have slept through that night with Daniel's loud ass car going in and out of that driveway. And it's certainly your dog would have woke you up, just like you said your dog woke you up when Lilly was outside.
Nothing more. Ask me anything. I'll tell you the truth. Go ahead. Ask me questions if you want to know answers to.
A bullshit?
Because I got nothing to hide.
A bullshit?
I got nothing to lose anymore. You guys just ruined our lives over stupid accusations that people are.
It's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. What you're hearing right here, in my opinion, yeah, there's anger toward, the media and all of that, right? But Janie, look at your son. You will not hold Daniel responsible for a damn thing. And that's probably half the damn reason he is the way he is, to be quite honest with you. What is, like, your smoking son is being charged with imprisoning a woman and SAing her. And ma'am, we've saw the text messages of other women where Daniel says he wants to R her in her sleep, and if she says stop, he'll do it harder. Daniel's a good boy. My ass. You can't hear me? Don't know. Should be able to hear me.
Out there. Ask me questions. I'll tell you the truth.
Happy birthday, Jamie.
And you think these are fake tears? They're not, buddy.
I believe
They're
that.
not fake tears at all. It breaks my heart.
I don't believe they're fake tears. I believe they're real tears. But I believe, again, many times people are angry or crying about the totality of the situation, not what they're actually saying that they are mad about, hurt about, or even crying about that they are mad or angry at, again, the totality of the situation.
What happened to Jack and Lilly? They don't deserve this. Nobody did.
First of all, Janie, right there, what happened to Jack and Lilly? Well, we don't know what happened to Jack and Lilly, do we?
Deserves the humiliation that we're going through over something that somebody did that was so stupid. Trying to find the easy way out. The easiest way out.
What is she saying there? So stupid, the easy way out. She didn't. She didn't. And I don't believe she's crying for Jack and Lilly either. I don't believe she's crying for Jack and Lilly whatsoever. She's crying for herself and Daniel.
You're muted.
Oops. Let me pass
Damn it.
forward.
Jack did. And then she said something a way out. What did she just say at the end?
I'll put it back a bit.
Okay.
Ask me questions, I'll tell you the truth. And you think these are fake tears? They're not, buddy. They're not.
Mods, if you will please drop Mike Damon's chat channel, Daphne's Case Files and Shenanigans, I'd appreciate it.
Fake tears at all. It breaks my heart what happened to Jack and Lilly. They don't deserve this. Nobody deserves the humiliation that we're going through over something that somebody did that was so stupid. Trying to find the easy way out.
That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. Hold on.
That we're going through over something that somebody did that was so stupid.
Over somebody did that was so stupid.
Trying to find the easy way out.
Trying to find the easy way out.
The easiest way out
The easiest way.
that she could have done was just up and left. She didn't have to do it the way she did it.
See, this is the thing, Janie. You know Malaya is not the only one involved in this. Number one. Number two, your son and Malaya were in lockstep for at least a day, right? In front of the cameras, right? They were in bed together, even though they can't decide who was really sleeping, who was really awake, and all of that. Do you not think of the entire situation before you speak? Oh yeah, she's blaming Malaya. And let me tell you something. I think Malaya is and was a bad parent. Bad for what she subjected her children to. And a lot more. But I don't think, and I think she's just as, in my opinion, guilty as Daniel. However, I don't believe the children would be missing had it not been for Daniel, because I believe whatever happened that night is because of Daniel. Does that make sense?
There, I gave you enough information for your next.
There's more. Sorry.
Yeah,
I
that
just thought I'd
part
pause
is,
it there for a second.
I agree.
that's freaking weird.
Yeah.
She's still blaming Malaya over
Yeah.
something stupid, right?
That
Over
someone
something
did.
stupid. But yet,
And this
they know like,
Do they play
That-
more?
easy way, which
But nobody deserves Lily. Fake tears.
based on what she's saying.
Here we go.
They're not, buddy. They're not fake tears at all. It breaks my heart what happened to Jack and Lilly. They don't deserve this. Nobody deserves the humiliation that we're going through over something that somebody did that was so stupid. Trying to find the easy way out. The easiest way out that she could have done was just up and left. She didn't have to do it the way she did it. Where's her family? Why isn't her family speaking out?
Because I'll tell you why, in my opinion. Because if Malaya's family actually thought Jack and Lilly were actually missing and actually alive and actually Malaya wasn't involved, they would be speaking out. That's what people do whenever their loved one is missing and they're not involved. They speak out. They don't stop. They're in front of every camera and all that. Your son took the opposite direction because, in my opinion, he's a narcissist at best and a lying buffoon. And he thought he could control the narrative when it got away from him real quick. It was a runaway train. And he just couldn't stop himself. And you piped into it, Janie. And you backed up his lies. A lot of them. Right? Like that blanket. 3 pieces of a blanket. One part in the trash. One part on the back of the porch. And one in the damn tree. You saw him. Right? You saw him put that in the trash. Malaya said she put it in the trash. Right? Now, I don't believe Malaya is being honest on, for sure. I don't believe she's being honest. But Malaya didn't lie about the blanket. She didn't lie about the blanket being Lily's. It was your son that lied about that in the beginning.
What do they have?
So how does that make you look? You know what I mean? Like you're saying, "Oh yeah, I told Daniel to not make that trash too, heavy." Well, Malaya wasn't the one that lied about that blanket and where it was and whose it was and all that. So it sounds like you went along with your son.
To hide. Why does Malaya have to go through her friends to get to say what she has to say? Why can't she come out and tell the truth? Don't you think that's kind of suspicious?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. Sure do. Malaya's not free from it. But you see, this is the difference. Malaya was intelligent about it. Because if you actually did something, know something, all of that, you don't speak. And a lot of people don't have that self-control to not speak when someone is like speaking on you, or there's this narrative that you're trying, people try to put out their narrative or whatever. Malaya was smart about it. Let him talk. Let him talk. Because as long as someone else is talking, it's not going to incriminate me. Right? Your son couldn't do that. Neither could you.
Don't you think she's hiding something?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
That's the point.
Doesn't change it.
See?
You see, this is the thing. We can say we think Malaya, in a lot of our opinions, is hiding something. But you can't say it about your son, Janie. And again, they had the same story that they were both sleeping in the bed and all that. And again, you continued that story. Oh, they were in the house and then it got quiet, right? And I heard the kids outside. You continued their lie. You know that didn't happen, but you continued that lie. So you can say, oh, well, don't you think that's suspicious about Malaya? Fuck, yes, I do. But it equally is your son as well. Even more so your son, actually. Stepfathers have a very, very high proportionately big reason when many times the children go missing and things happen. And then you take, again, current unrelated charges of abuse. And then you take the CPS from December and what the teacher said in the pictures we see, right? Men are overwhelmingly majority, most of the time, violent over women, right? Women do not have the same physical violence that men do. We have testosterone, right? Men are by far more likely to be part of violent crime of any sort. I don't see Malaya completely losing her shit. You would have. This is the thing. Daniel would have thrown her under the bus quickly, very quickly. These are Malaya's kids. She has more at stake here. Because I don't believe Daniel or Malaya, or sorry, not Malaya, Daniel or Janie or the family ever truly accepted Jack and Lilly. Absolutely. Absolutely. 1000%. The dog theory is right about the only thing that makes sense, in my opinion, only because the three were on the property, and I feel Malaya and Daniel were so rugged that they got rid of the kids and evidence, all guilty. The dog theory. What's the dog like? What do you mean the dog theory? Like the dogs? You think like the dog hurt them or something? Is that what you mean? I don't think so. My opinion, though.
We come out and tell the truth. But she hides behind her crowd of friends that she hasn't seen in 2.5 years.
Listen, if there's a dog, right? For number one, I know the people talk about this dog accident and all of this, but you've got to think of statistics and how the world works. For one dog to attack two kids to be so injured that they die, right? Before, for instance, Janie would get out there and, like clean up everything outside. It's just statistically, it's just no. Just two kids are not going to be unalived by a dog like that, and you not call 911. Someone, yeah. I don't think it's the dog theory. I think the dog is Daniel.
Of course they're all gonna blame Daniel. That's the way of getting out of things. Put the blame on somebody else.
She is so fucking delusional. She is so delusional. You are so delusional, ma'am. That's the way of getting out of things. I understand, Janie, this is your son. I understand you're going to love him no matter what. I get it. You can't unlove your kid. But when they are easily, many things, provable lies, you can't call any of that out. It's just an easy way. No, this man has been lying through his ass since jump.
Put the attention on somebody else. Make him out to be the bad one.
He is.
Sit and look at it. Who's the bad one?
Both
Who's the
of
ones
them.
not speaking out for themselves? Who's the ones that are getting people to speak out?
It's, it's, to me, it's the chicken or the egg, which came first. I get it. A mother should be speaking out for their kids if they're missing, and they care and all of that, right? But should a stepfather be lying through their ass about a 4 and a 6-year-old publicly? Neither are right. Neither. But you just have a lot more to go over and off of with Daniel, because, again, he has said so much. Malaya, you can only judge her because she's a POS that doesn't seem to want to speak up for her kids. She'd rather go to the beach, rather party. Hopefully she's doing better now. She's still not speaking up for her kids, though. They're both POSs, in my opinion.
For them. What are they hiding? Have you analyzed that?
Well, yeah. Again, Janie, I guess, forgets that she's part of the morning story that, in my opinion, did not happen at all that morning. And Daniel and Malaya said they were sleeping in bed together pretty much the whole night. And Daniel is the one to last see Jack and Lilly. Remember, he at least allegedly went to their bedroom at midnight or something. He was the one that admittedly was up a lot later than Malaya. So why are you throwing this all back on Malaya, Janie? Daniel is the one that he says he last saw Jack and Lilly. He said he looked in the bedroom right after midnight. He says he stays up later. All of that. Malaya was in bed. And then the story goes that they were in bed together until sunlight, right? Both of them agree on that part. So why are you just throwing Malaya under the bus? If MBM really loved Meadow, she would admit that she would be better with another family and come clean for Jack and Lilly. Yeah. Malaya, in my opinion, is very immature. I think they're both extraordinarily selfish and can only love themselves.
You go through, if you were in our shoes, you go through this for 9 months, people accusing you of murdering 2 kids. How would you feel? You get to a point where you explode.
I mean, nobody should say that Daniel or Malaya murdered the kids. But the question is, I do believe that they know something and that they know more, and they know. Now, the RCMP said murder. That's what the RCMP said, the murder or death of Jack and Lilly.
Don't you?
In the lie detector test, I want to clear that up.
See, the thing is, why can't people just be open? Why can't people speak for themselves?
And here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. And I see, I would love to talk to Janie. She would never talk to me though. You know the question I would have asked her? You know the question I would have asked her? Your grandchildren, Janie, your grandchildren, your blood grandchildren, blamed your son of being mean and abusive to Jack and Lilly. Are you calling them liars? Calling your grandchildren liars? You wouldn't do that, would you, Janie? Oh, Janie and Daniel's watching right now. Because it was enough for CPS to believe them. They immediately, and again, look at this, because Janie's watching. I promise you she's watching. Think of this. Malaya was still allowed to be around her kids, at least in the beginning, until she screwed it up with her own right. Right? But Daniel could not be around Meadow at all. At all. Or any other kids. Why? That's highly unusual. It's very highly unusual. Again, we see that in sort of like this in a lot of CPS cases, where kids will be in the home, CPS will come in the home, and there will be allegations against, the teacher calls in or whatever against a parent. And that is what is called the alleged perpetrator, or a person in the house. It can be anybody in the house, a friend that lives in the house or whatever. And that is what they call an alleged perpetrator, right? And CPS can't say you have to get out. They can't kick anybody in or out of a house. They can only take the children or keep the children there. But what they can say is if this person remains in the house, this alleged perpetrator, then the kids have to go. So you can stay in the house with the kids as long as whoever in the house, the alleged perpetrator, leaves. Right? We can't tell them to leave, but if they remain here, then that's when they got to take the kids. Now, in Jack and Lily's case, Malaya was able to still be around the kids. She left. And her grandma, Malaya's mom, Jack and Lily's bio grandmother, got to be the guardian for at least temporary, right? So because that happened, again, Malaya could still be around Jack, no, sorry, not Jack and Lily, Meadow. But Daniel couldn't. Neither could Janie, which is interesting. Which is interesting to me. You got to remember, Daniel's other two children said that, and I've got the text messages from Daniel, that they accused him being bad, abusive, or whatever to Jack and Lily. That's and you got to remember, they were only there every other weekend, and they saw it, that Daniel was allegedly abusive to Jack and Lily. Again, only there about 36 hours every other weekend. Right? Maybe about 48 hours, because I guess they probably, I can't remember. Maybe they go on Friday. 36 to 48 hours every other weekend. And they said that Daniel was abusive to Jack and Lily. Now think about that. Can you imagine what Jack and Lily went through 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year? Very sad. Very, very sad. Right? Oh, Joyous. Thank you, darling. Thank you so much, Mama. Love you. Appreciate you. You received one of those pearl necklaces. Make sure you give our Joyous a big thank you.
This nicotine patch for an hour, and I'd still sell you in for a smoke. Come on back to my place. I want you to look at a urine sample. I think it looks cloudy. It's been so long since someone touched me.
I hope people are paying attention to this.
Welcome to Clutch Them Pearls, yeah, you're in the clue. Shine bright like the stars this world never knew. We're dancing, laughing all around this world. Hold tight, shine bright, you're part of our world.
Oh, thank you, Miss Joyous. Really, really do appreciate you. Hey, Summers Army, good to see you. Hey, Deborah, how you doing, darling? Robin, good to see you. The other Joyce, good to see you. Patricia, Ellen, Susie Q, Dreamcatcher, everyone.
Why hide? Eventually it's going to get caught up with you, isn't it?
Oh.
So why not just come out and tell the truth?
I don't know. Maybe 10 to life. That might be why you won't tell the truth. 10 to life.
You can tell the truth. You can't add to, I should say you can't add to the truth, but you can always add to a lie.
Well, your son certainly did.
And people think that we changed our stories. Well, you have all these people accusing you of stuff. Aren't you going to get a little bitter?
Honestly, like, she is fucking delusional. Pardon my French. You are delusional, ma'am. People say we change our stories. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, Janie? Yeah, you've changed your stories. Especially your son. Especially your son. And why would you be bitter? You're again, look at Janie's behavior. And let me tell you something. I'll just tell you my opinion. Janie is the type, in my opinion, that feels sorry for herself. I really feel, based upon her behavior, that she's the type that feels sorry for herself. Truly. And she's talking about, wouldn't you be bitter? No. I would be looking for my fucking step grandchildren. That's what I would be looking for. That's what I would be looking for. What is she talking about? Again, it's me, my baby Daniel, me, my baby Daniel. Your baby Daniel is a grown asshole man who's a father himself. And Jack and Lilly were 4 and 6, preschool and kindergarten. Do you not think, lady?
I haven't changed my stories. Darren did, not me. He can go.
I sorry, I cannot quit commenting on this because every syllable she almost speaks is just mind-blowing to me. I've never heard this. Again, she blames Durwood, Darren. Okay. Number one, the changing stories. Why would you let someone come out and first of all, don't blame it all on Durwood. He's a doofus, yes, but you lived it. Daniel lived it. Malaya don't say a damn thing. Y'all lived it, right? So it's y'all's story. It's not Durwood's. It's not Durwood's. So don't blame it on him. Yeah, I think he lied through his ass multiple times. I think he's a Looney Tune, a Looney Bin, all of that. But don't blame him. Don't blame him for y'all's changing of the story.
With stuff and said stuff that I never even said to him. He just made up a bunch of bullshit, and you know he's a bullshitter. If somebody knew stuff, why wouldn't they tell the RCMP? Why wouldn't they tell the investigators?
10 to life.
We're
That's
honest
why.
and open with everybody.
Exactly. Exactly.
We have nothing to hide. We're not running like some people are.
Mohawk, where in the actual fuck have you been, lady? She said she was ranking in the pool on the interview. Then she never said it. Yep, sure did. Sure did. That was hers. Where have you been? Don't you ever leave me like that again. Oh my God. I get worried. First it was Shannon. Then it's you. Now you're both back. Thank God.
We're not hiding behind other people.
I have a message from Janie, a text message that says, yes, Darren's telling the truth.
Sick in bed with head cold. Oh, baby, I'm sorry. Hey, Susie Q. Good to see you, honey. Her life has been ruined. She had a long life, got married, had kids, etc., and she still has life ahead of her. What the heck? Yep. Yep. It's all about her, though, Susie. Her and her little baby, precious Daniel, little honey bun, sugar plum, pumpy and pumpkin, little Daniel pie.
That was from, she said, he opened my eyes.
Oh my God.
If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be on here. I said, Janie, do you trust Darren to speak for you?
Listen to this.
Or is he making stuff up? If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be on here. I says, thank you. I understand.
You are feeling bad.
She writes back, he opened my eyes.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, I remember that. I was going to say that actually earlier. Remember, she said Durwood opened her eyes to a lot of this. And I've talked about this in the past. How can Durwood open your eyes when you were there? You were living it, Janie. You lived that night and that morning. And you said you were out raking and doing the fence and all that. Then you said there was never raking for a pool. Those are your text messages. These are your words. These are your interviews. Hey, Juniper, good to see you, honey. Mm. Janie, this is her personality. This is who she is. Misery, self-loathing, everything I have done. And look, my mother is so similar. Like, yeah. Spare time, there are those people, honey. And it's they're exhausting. They're exhausting. There are people that it's always got to be about them. Right? Listen, we all want to be seen, want to be heard, want to be accepted, want to be loved. Every human being, that's the human condition. But there are people that it's always something. It's like you said, self-loathing, woe is me, only about my problems. I'm the victim. Wah, wah, wah. Always. And it seems like Janie is just that. I don't either, Dreamcatcher. I don't think she cared for him either. At all. Energy vampires suck. Yeah, they're just suck the life, the energy out of you. They're just too high maintenance in that department, right? It gets exhausting. You can only do it for so long. And I think she was constantly bitching about the kids. Remember, I mean, what she said about Lilly. I couldn't stand her voice or the screaming or whatever. You know, if you've lost someone, like truly lost someone you really love, your mom, your dad, your husband, your wife, God forbid a kid, someone you love with all your heart and soul. I always, like my grandmother raised me, and we never really fought or anything like that. I was a jerk whenever I was, growing up at times as a kid. But I always say I would give my worst moment with my grandmother or my dad that I had with them just to be in front of them again for 5 seconds. Because that's how desperate you are. Whenever you love someone so much and you want to be with them, you would give your worst moment you ever had with them just to be in front of you again. Right? You don't say things like a 5 or a 6-year-old missing when you're asking the world to help, and you're saying you miss them so much that I can't stand their voice. That's what you're looking for, is them, their voice. You would love to hear their voice screaming for help, that they're out there, wouldn't you? But you couldn't stand it. Got it. Very interesting, isn't it? You should have said, I understand it might have gotten on her nerves at something, right? Kids will push you. Nobody's immune to that, right? They'll push you. They'll uh, things get on your nerves with people that you love, but you don't say it in public like that. Like, you don't say something like that when that is something that you would long to hear right now, is Lilly screaming with that loud voice out in the woods. You could say, oh, well, sometimes that voice went through me, went right through my ears or whatever, but how I would love to hear that loud voice screaming in the woods right now, and we could run up to her and grab her and find her. There's a difference. Big difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just kind of the type that you just don't say, you don't really say anything ill about the dead or the ill. You know what I mean? You just don't say it. The dead, the ill, missing, anything like that. Yeah.
This was July 1st, 2025. Well, that's when I happened. Something but Jane, she was in her
heard various different stories. So told.
Is there any more to it? Do we know?
So they have come and did because not they're not everything in it that we know and well met.
Is there more, or is that
she
it?
says somebody
proven guilty in the court of law.
That might be it.
Forget what it was called.
I think that might be it.
Yeah, right.
We didn't get to the stop.
Sorry. Can everybody see that?
Hold on, I've not seen this. Jack and Lilly Sullivan. I haven't seen this short one, I don't think.
Hi guys, good to see all of you.
The stop.
Sorry.
I saw some of it.
Too overwhelming, but this was some of Jack and Lily's belongings from Lansdowne. But this didn't get.
You guys had been like washing when you got it, or
we didn't get to this stuff because it just became it.
Hold on.
Wait, was this some of the stuff that you guys had been like washing when you got it, or?
We didn't get to this stuff because it just became too overwhelming. But this was some of Jack and Lily's belongings from Lansdowne.
Blankets once cherished by 6-year-old Lilly and 5-year-old Jack Sullivan, now reminders.
It was one of her favorite blankets.
Okay, yeah, it's got the cherries on it.
Every blanket she had was her favorite, especially if it was pink.
Cheryl Robinson and Angeline Maloney Arsenault are both close with the children's mother. They've spent the last 9 months doing their best to offer support since Jack and Lilly disappeared, a mystery that remains unsolved despite months of searches.
Happy kids. Very happy kids. Always excited. They love their mom. They love their grandmother. And they loved each other. They fought, but they loved each other.
What was Lilly like?
Very girly. She got excited easily. Loved her dolls. She was just very outgoing and cutest little thing.
Hey, Miss Belinda. Love you, darling. We haven't forgot. I promise you. I promise you.
Jack loves his dinosaurs. Loved to play with his toys. Jack was more quieter. He was on the quieter side.
The story of Jack and Lilly Sullivan has captured international attention and continues to gain traction online, with true crime channels trying to make sense of the case. It all started on May 2nd.
Look at there. Daniel running faster than a helicopter.
When both kids seemingly vanished. At their home in Lansdowne, Nova Scotia, early that morning, the children's mother, stepfather, and his mom all say they heard the kids playing as they dipped in and out of sleep. When they awoke to silence, they all ran outside, and at 10 o'clock, their mother called 911.
The 6-year-old is the girl, I believe, and she's wearing pink. The 4-year-old is wearing some blue dinosaur boots. So, yeah, I think that's all we kind of have right now.
I just happened to scroll Facebook.
Do y'all remember the message where Daniel said, I can't tell you what they're wearing, Jack and Lilly? And then he said something like, I'll just leave it at that.
I saw
I got
the
the
post
message.
from the RCMP that Lilly and Jack were missing, and we decided we would go over and help look for them.
My coworker at lunchtime, she brought it up and she started reading like the whole thing out loud. And when she said the two names, I was like, hold on, like, wait a minute. And I just grabbed my phone and called Malaya, and I was like, are your kids missing? And she said yes. And she was very upset.
How would you describe the scene that day?
Yep.
Chaotic. It was very chaotic.
Well, this is the thing. One thing that every single missing person case, every single missing person's case, they will tell you every single, I can't stress it enough, what the persons were last wearing. Right? That's like missing person 101. They want you to know what they were last wearing.
It was very stressful.
RCMP teams and hundreds of search and rescue volunteers descended on the property, presuming that Jack and Lilly wandered into the nearby woods. But Robinson says right away, things didn't feel right.
We had asked for an Amber Alert a few hours after the kids had went missing. And
Why would you ask for an Amber Alert whenever there was no sign of them? Like, I understand, like, you're panicked and all that, but they said that they walked off. They were playing outside and then they walked off.
and we were told that it didn't mean.
And Belinda's in here right now. Later, was it that evening or the next day, Belinda, when Malaya said, she texted you and said, I have reason to believe that someone may have abducted Jack and Lilly? What was that? What was that reason, Malaya?
Meet the criteria, because apparently you have to have like a suspect or reason to believe that they could have been abducted. So that was pretty disappointing.
Yeah, you got to have a description or something. But Malaya said she had reason to believe. But what was that reason? Friday night. Thank you. That night, Malaya's already saying, I have reason to believe they've been abducted. Why? Why, Malaya? What was your reason? If you knew more, Malaya, someone abducted them, then you should have told the RCMP. But it was bullshit.
The ground search and rescue people.
Staff Sergeant Rob McCammon is with the Nova Scotia RCMP Major Crime Unit.
We didn't have the necessary pre-qualifiers to issue an Amber Alert. However, we did issue vulnerable persons alerts related to the disappearance of Jack and Lilly.
With little information from police, rumors have been swirling about potential suspects and whether their mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, or their stepfather, Daniel Martell, had anything to do with it. Both deny knowing what happened.
I wouldn't say anybody's a suspect. Again, we continue to gather information and whatever evidence that we are able to find, and we'll make our decisions based on that. But we are not in a position to really comment on suspects or anything like that at this time.
RCMP did charge Martell on January 29th with assault, sexual assault, and forcible confinement related to an adult complainant. He did not respond to our request for comment on the charges.
Bingo, Ashley.
But in early January, he sat down for an interview. At the time, Martell said he believed the RCMP did not consider him a suspect in the children's disappearance, pointing
She always looks so uncomfortable with him.
to the results of a polygraph test he took last spring.
All the questions were on death, right?
Paul, good to see you, my friend.
They concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. And there was no questions on the disappearance or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature.
And so you mentioned that in the polygraph, they didn't ask you about the disappearance and whether you had anything to do with it. But I'm going to ask, did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
No.
Did you kill them?
No.
For a year and a half, Martell and Brooks Murray lived together in this home with Jack, Lilly, and their baby daughter. According to court documents, in the weeks before the children were reported missing, the couple had been fighting about money.
I don't really want to talk on that.
Wonder why. I think they got in a fight that night about money.
I don't really want to talk on too much to do with Malaya. It's best that we don't.
Cheryl Robinson says the day the children went missing was the first time she saw where Brooks Murray and the children had been living. She was shocked.
Just the condition of the house. I mean, I know that not everybody has a fancy house and not everybody is rich, but there's things that you can do to improve your.
It's not about fancy. It's just about being safe and clean.
Living conditions.
A lot of the speculation has been, why did Malaya and her family leave and not come back?
Doesn't need to be sterile, the whole house sterile. It just needs to be livable, safe, clean.
Anything you'd like to say about why that decision was made?
I know that her behavior to a lot of people may seem odd, may seem different, and it may not be what a lot of people would do if their two kids were missing. But until you're in that situation, you really don't know how you would act.
For Martell, the online speculation has focused on his drug use. He admits he used meth and cocaine in the past, but says not now.
In terms of the drug use, what would you like to share, just to clear the air?
I did not have any drugs. People thought I was doing drugs during the search. Absolutely not. I don't owe any drug dealers money. I don't owe anyone drugs. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't manufacture drugs.
8.5 square kilometers of dense, rugged terrain has been thoroughly searched with little evidence. The RCMP says it doesn't have reasonable grounds to believe it's criminal. The case remains an active investigation under the Missing Persons Act.
At this point, do you think those children are still in the woods?
I think the chances are low. However, there's always that possibility that they may be in an area that just we haven't been able to find them. It does happen.
For me, it's just the fact that they're not treating it as a criminal investigation. I think that if they did, maybe they would make a lot more headway in like a faster time period.
Maloney Arsenault.
So it seems like they both believe that it's criminal because they're both shaking their heads right there.
Has taken the role of online detective in the group, constantly chasing new details and theories.
Kind of like a second job, maybe, in a way.
Why do you do it?
To try to find them and see if we can bring them home.
It's just hard.
Everyone close to the case has the same goal, to find Lilly and Jack.
As far as I'm concerned, it's not going to be a cold case. This is a case that needs to be solved. So we will pursue every avenue available to us to ascertain what happened with Jack and Lilly.
Do you hear that, Daniel? You hear that, Janie? Isn't that good news, Janie? That this is not going to be a cold case? I'm sure you are so happy with that. I know I am. We're very happy that this is not going to be a cold case. Very, very happy, actually. Okay. We listened to a part of that interview with Daniel earlier, but I want to listen to this newest one because I heard some new things just in those little clips a little bit ago. And once you step away from something for a couple weeks, you get a whole new perspective.
For, check my DNA, because my DNA is obviously going to be on the blanket. But I can't really disclose, and I'm pretty limited on what I know about the blanket at this moment. But I can say, like, with the DNA collection, something's definitely proceeding forward with that.
How did that go when they took your sample? Did they take you into the station?
Yeah, it was done at the station. An investigator did it. They have an applicator, which, they hit the end of your finger with it, just like you were testing for your blood sugar. Just, pinch the end of your finger, and I had to squeeze for 20 minutes to get some blood out. But after we get those 4 drops out, it goes onto a little pad, and it's put in a envelope and then plastic.
This is very interesting that he says he can't remember anything about Thursday evening, right? He can remember the daytime, but he can't remember much of the evening time. But he can remember that there was 4 drops of blood that he submitted to the RCMP. That's really good, Daniel. That's really good. It's amazing how you can't remember the evening before, the last evening you spend with the kids before they go missing. But you can remember that there's 4 drops of blood that you submitted.
Bag and then sealed up for evidence.
Do you know of anyone else who had their sample taken?
No. I was never disclosed any of that.
Mm-hmm.
Nor do I ask, because I know I would not get an answer in return.
Right. You've been asking questions.
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions.
I bet you do.
Sometimes they can't answer.
Mm-hmm.
And was that voluntary, or did they?
That was 100% voluntary. They never have to get a warrant to do anything. I'm always cooperative. Just like in the past, I keep asking them, do you want my phone? Do you want me to do more polygraphs? Like, I'm open to everything.
You submitted your phone. I believe you didn't. Never mind. You took a polygraph. I mean, and again, remember, he's going to say here in a second that they cleared him. They cleared him on a sheet of paper that was not of interest in the Jack and Lilly disappearance. But he's still saying, oh yeah, I'll take more polygraph. Why would they need that, Daniel, if you're so innocent?
Well, that they say, Daniel, no, we don't need your phone. Daniel, no, it's not necessary to do any more polygraphs. So at this point, I'm very cooperative, and when they did up the paper for consent on my DNA, they fill in the paper, May 2nd, missing persons case for Jack and Lilly. And then they go through it, and then there's the box checked for criminal involvement, no criminal involvement, and they check the box for no criminal involvement.
They check the box for no criminal involvement, but again, he says he's still offering phones and lie detector test and all of that. You think that they're there just to do random things that they don't need, Daniel? I can 100% promise you that any law enforcement. They only do what they need, and they do it everything for a reason. Everything. Whether that is a blood test, a DNA test, taking your phone, a lie detector test, everything is done for a reason.
Involvement, and I put my signature on it, and there was my consent.
How did you feel when you saw that box was checked?
Very happy. But I've known for, since the start that I'm 100%.
It's amazing that he can just sit there and just lie, in my opinion.
Innocent. But to see investigators say that to me before, but then also, see it visually with my own eyes, it was a big thing.
So it's your understanding you believe that RCMP do not consider you a suspect?
I'd say 100% I'm not considered as a suspect at this.
Again, I said earlier when we played this little clip right there, you just said that they signed it on a piece of paper that you were not a suspect. And you said previous that they told you that you was not a suspect. So why are you pretty sure you're not a suspect if they put it on a paper? More importantly, why wouldn't they just come out and say, guys, cleared. He's cleared. We got it on paper. Right here it is. He's cleared.
Point.
Why is that?
I mean,
and why are they getting your DNA if you're so cleared?
From that box being checked.
Your blood.
But we can also go back to when I had my polygraph exam. When we went over the questions beforehand, all the questions were on death, right? So they concluded that by the end of it, I was truthful with all my all my answers. So I didn't have anything to do with the murder of Lilly and Jack. And there was no questions on the disappearance or abduction or kidnapping or anything of that nature. So that leaves me with, I didn't murder the kids. I have nothing to do with the disappearance because they did not ask any questions on that.
And so you mentioned that in the polygraph.
Okay, because they did not ask any questions on that, meaning that means you had nothing to do with it? Is that what you're saying, Daniel? Is that your rationale?
About the disappearance and whether you had anything to do with it. But I'm going to ask, did you have anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lilly?
No.
Did you kill them?
No.
What do you think happened to them?
At this point, I'm completely just not sure. I mean, I've thrown speculation out in the past.
No. No. You have not speculated, sir. You have not speculated. You're the only one that has not speculated, as a matter of fact. You say you are, we've got the text messages, Daniel, that you are 100% sure that Malaya's stepsister, did something. You're the one that is blamed. You're the only one that's been 100% sure on a lot of stuff. Deborah, thank you so very much. Thank you for renewing the membership. Appreciate my love. Welcome to the Pearl family. And just by the way, Janie wants to thank you as well.
This nicotine patch for an hour, and I'd still sell you in for a smoke. Come on back to my place. I want you to look at a urine sample. I think it looks cloudy. It's been so long since someone touched me.
The last time I had a pap smear, the doctor needed rubber gloves and an oyster shucker. Thank you so much, Deborah. You're so kind.
And, narratives that I think, or theories that, what I think may have happened. But at this point, I have to just go with what the RCMP say because they have so much information. They have more resources, and they're the ones that are fully invested in this case. They have the...
Daniel, yes, they know so much more about this case, and they're certainly making headway, in my opinion. but you are the one that says you have gave them notebooks full of stuff and you've given them leads. How have you given them leads? That would be one of my questions to Daniel, which he would never come to me or Deception Detective ever. Wouldn't do it. He knows way better. But one of the questions I would ask him is, Daniel, what leads and how have you found these leads to give the RCMP? Because you don't have the technology the RCMP has. So how did you give them these grandiose leads when you should be just as dumbfounded as everyone else? Lil Red, thank you so much, my darling. Really do appreciate you. 14 months means like it's so much longer. Always a pleasure to be here with the YouTube family. Thank you so much, little Frenchie there. Thank you so much, Lil Red. Appreciate you very, very much, my dear. Good to see you. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Thank you, Lil Red. He talks with zero emotion, how? Because he only cares about himself, and he's concentrating on his bullshit.
Intellect and professional training to do what they do. It's been 8 months.
Again, he has been with Jack and Lilly. Jack, they were together, 3 years? Jack was 4 when they went missing. Lilly was 6, right? So the vast majority of these children's lives, he has been with them, and there's no emotion, right? Like you would expect to see someone who truly doesn't know anything about what happened, where they are, how much you miss them, love them. You would see some emotion there. But when you have to stay so concentrated with your story and not slip up, he thinks he's clever. He's really bad at it. But that's why there's no emotion there.
And I know a lot of people think that, the kids are not alive anymore, but I hold out hope 100%. I'll always hold out hope every day because there's no reason not to.
Do you think it's criminal?
Yes. But it will not pivot to a criminal.
He thinks it's criminal. That's so interesting. Daniel believes this is criminal. Now, I would ask, Daniel, what do you believe has made this criminal, right? I mean, the last time you was blaming, what's her name, Haley, for this, and Malaya's mother, Cindy. You know better than that. He tried to set this narrative, and I proved this. He tried to set this narrative that Malaya's mom, Cindy, was there so quickly after Jack and Lilly went missing. I showed the text messages between Malaya and Cindy. Cindy wasn't there till like close to 3 hours after Jack and Lilly went missing. He was like, she showed right up. He tried to paint a narrative that someone perhaps came, he was telling, I think he was telling the guy that he did the interview with, I can't remember, the other channel, DT, that he thought perhaps Cindy or one of them came in the house while they were sleeping and, got Jack and Lilly, and, there was they would have had to have got Jack's coat because Jack or Lilly couldn't reach that coat, and snuck away with them. This was all Daniel's narrative, and it's just so funny to me. Not funny to me, but it's so bizarre to me that Daniel will say things like that to people about like someone coming in the house and getting Jack's coat because he couldn't reach it. But he's also saying that Jack and Lilly planted this pink blanket a kilometer away, way up in a tree.
Case or a criminal investigation from a missing persons until they have a suspect, and they're going to be investigated and then formally charged.
Do you get any sense from RCMP that they believe this is criminal?
Yes, but they don't openly share that or talk about that.
That's interesting. Daniel says that he thinks that this is criminal and that he thinks that the RCMP knows that this is criminal, but they don't openly speak about that with him. And RCMP says we just can't comment on whether this is criminal or not.
Concept with me. That's pretty limited. They use as many, use the least amount of words they can to convey what they're trying to get across or questions, or it's usually me who tries to dive in depth with them, but they're pretty tight-lipped on everything, and they should be.
How many times have they officially interviewed you?
Formally interviewed. The very first one was about 4 hours. And since then, I'd say about maybe 5 times. I don't know the count exactly, but probably around 5 times.
And when was the latest one?
The latest one would have been, that would have been on the blanket. So, and the actual formal interview for that wasn't very long. That was probably about 20 minutes. But the amount of time I spend with them is a lot because we go over a lot. It's just me asking questions and how can I help them, and so it's usually like an hour and a half to 2 hours. I only plan on being there for 20 minutes or whatever they have to do with me, but it's just like we just keep talking.
And so when you say interviews,
Well, I think you keep talking, Daniel, and I think RCMP keeps listening. They're just going to keep listening to your buffoonery. And this is the thing. RCMP are not going to sit there and just judge you with everything that they say. They just listen. They're not like us YouTubers or the public or anything like that. They just listen. They'll take care of that later. They're very patient, right? They listen and take it all in, keep it there, and then analyze it behind the scenes is what they do.
would be recorded on the record interrogations.
Yeah, that's the audio recordings.
There have been allegations from Malaya's friends and family that you were abusive to her. Were you?
No.
Now, I just want you to, okay, this interview was done a couple weeks before Daniel was charged for the SA charges and holding Malaya, I forget what the charge is, like more or less captive. It's not the formal charges that they did. And I just want you to look here. Look how he lies during this question, because he doesn't know it, but 2 to 3 weeks after this question is asked, he is charged with Malaya.
interrogations.
Yeah, that's through the audio
Watch this.
recordings.
Listen to this question.
There have been allegations from Malaya's friends and family that you were abusive to her. Were you?
No.
They said that when she moved in with you, she cut off all contact with them and you monitored her phone.
She also monitored mine. We both had the same passwords on her phone. And her friends, she blocked her friends on my phone and she blocked them on her own phone.
So how would you describe your relationship before the children went missing?
Yes. I don't really want to talk on that because I don't really want to talk on too much to do with Malaya.
Yeah, that comment did not age well. It aged as good as Daniel's math pipe. That's how good it aged. Yeah. Burnt and cracked out.
It's best that we don't.
Okay. And so you mentioned that there were some accusations about your past drug use. I've read some things about it being drug use that week, the week the children went missing. Is there any truth to that?
No, I didn't have any drugs.
Oh my God. Again, I have shown you messages where Daniel admits to doing math every day for several years. You know, and he says it doesn't affect him like it does other people, right? His exes that I have spoken to and everyone that I have spoken to that knows Daniel have all said, all of them in one form or another, that they believe, in their opinion, that Daniel was whacked out that night and flipped out. They all say it, including exes.
And so you mentioned that there were some accusations about your past drug use. I've read some things about it being drug use that week, the week the children went missing. Is there any truth to that?
No, I didn't have any drugs. And Major Crimes knows that. Or they would have, charged me with possession of drugs or drug paraphernalia.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not only that, the family, when you was in the bathroom, said that you were in there doing rugs. You were making all that noise
There was nothing at the house.
at the house.
So, and they know that.
What is your history in terms of the drug use? What would you like to share, just to clear the air?
I did not have any drugs. People thought I was doing drugs during the search. Absolutely not.
He, anytime he lies, he always holds his eyes. We know a lot of these are lies. He always holds his eyes longer. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Watch this. Where'd it go? Okay. Let me go back to this one right here.
Yes.
See, watch him hold his eyes.
Before the children went missing.
Yes. I don't really want to talk on that because I don't really want to talk on too much to do with Malaya. It's best that we don't.
Okay. And so you mentioned that there were some accusations about your past drug use. I've read some things about it being drug use that week, the week the children went missing. Is there any truth to that?
No, I didn't have any drugs.
See how no, I didn't have. He holds it longer. Now watch the next
And
question. They're going to
Major
switch
Crimes
angles.
knows that, or they would have, charged me with possession of drugs or drug paraphernalia. There was nothing at the house. So, and they know that.
What is your
and they
history
know that.
in terms of the drug use?
What's
What
this?
would you like to share, just to clear the air?
I did not have any drugs. People thought I was doing drugs during the search. Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I don't owe any drug dealers money. I don't owe anyone drugs.
Pictou County, hey soldier girl, Pictou County knows the math man. They know the math man.
I'm not a drug dealer. I don't manufacture drugs. I can't really speak on anything more than that, I
Those
guess.
have been all the accusations
Yeah.
made at you.
That I have, you know, manufactured drugs, sell them. I give them to people to sell. It's
There's
crazy.
no drug party
We know your dealer, Daniel.
that night.
No, there was no drug party. There was no leaving during the middle of the night. When we pulled into the yard on Thursday.
Damn. I just realized he said that when we pulled into the yard Thursday night. He remembers pulling into the yard Thursday night. But it was an ordinary day, y'all. Amazing. Just an ordinary day. Can't remember shit, right? But he remembers pulling into the yard.
We pulled into the yard on Thursday afternoon. It would have been about 3:50 or just right before 4 o'clock.
Members 3:50 or just before 4 o'clock.
The vehicle did not move till the next morning.
What was the question she asked right there? Hold on.
I'm not a drug dealer.
Okay. Daniel, this is very interesting. Daniel always, just like the interview he did prior to this, when she asked a question and Daniel just goes off in left field and says, I don't have any fake screen names in my name. If I go in a chat or anywhere, I do it under my name. He just delivers extra information because he wants to get that across, whether the question's asked or not. Look what he's doing here. Watch this.
There was nothing at the house. So, and they know that.
What is your history in terms of the drug use? What would you like to share, just to clear the air?
I did not have any drugs. People thought I was doing drugs money.
Let me fast that.
I don't owe anyone drugs. I'm not a drug dealer. I don't manufacture drugs. I can't really speak on anything more than that, I
Those
guess.
have been all the accusations
Yeah.
made at you.
Oh, yeah, we know he
That
uses
I-
fake screen names.
Have,
Yep,
you
listen.
know, manufacture drugs, sell them. I give them to people to sell. It's
There's
crazy.
no drug party that night.
No, there was no drug party.
Okay, listen
There
to
was
this.
no leaving during the middle of the night. When we pulled into the yard on Thursday afternoon, it would have been about 3:50 or just right before 4 o'clock.
Mhm.
The vehicle did not move till the next morning until I got in it and then went searching for Lilly and Jack that morning. When
You can tell he's lying through his ass right there. When we pulled in, let me get this. Hold on. I'm going to do even better. One second. Where are we at? 9:13. Watch this. Okay. When we pulled into the yard on Thursday afternoon, it would have been about 3:50 or just a little before 4 o'clock. The vehicle did not move till the next morning until I got in and went searching for Lilly and Jack that morning. and Malaya was on dispatch or contacted dispatched. It's very interesting, number one, that he knows when they pulled in, he knows what time they pulled in, and then he goes to talk about, which wasn't even asked, that his car did not move at all that night. And then he says, until I got in and went to search. And then he pauses and says, to search for Lilly and Jack that morning. He's really watching his words here very, very closely. Watch this.
There was no leaving during the middle of the night. When we pulled into the yard on Thursday afternoon, it would have been about 3:50 or just right before 4 o'clock. The vehicle did not move till the next morning until I got in it and we went searching for Lilly and Jack that morning when Malay was on dispatch or contacted dispatch.
You can see the stress all over him. You can see it all over him. It's bad. Patriot Gal, good to see you, my darling. Thank you so very much. NBN for 6 months. Really do appreciate you, my dear. NBN told people that Daniel, his brother, Justin are bad and dirty pigs and rug dealers that drives an expedition, comes in night and takes pics. What's that? Malaya told people that Daniel, his brother, are bad and dirty pigs and rug dealer that drives an expedition, comes in at night and takes pics. What do you mean comes in at night and takes pics? Takes pics of what? I don't know what you mean by that, my dear. Write it in the chat. Someone lets me know. I'd like to hear about that. Totally stressed and scared. He's going to oh, yeah, it's bad. He took the white, yeah. He's so bad at it. And this is the thing. He says exactly what the neighbor said he heard Daniel's vehicle do, and Daniel describes it exactly what the neighbor said Daniel did, and the neighbor would not have known this at this, when he first told authorities. I would bet anything that the neighbor is telling truth. He would not have known otherwise so early on. And Daniel comes out later and says, this is the way I went and all that, word for word.
How have all of these allegations impacted you?
At the start, it didn't bother me because they're obviously all not true. Basically anyone can just go on there and say whatever they want without any recourse at all. And over time, it started to get to me because it's just constant, right? I tried to keep up on it all and tried to, tell everyone the truth and correct everyone, but it was just too much. When those groups start to get so large and there's thousands and thousands of comments and thousands of questions every day, that's too much. And then you have
there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of us that are not going to give up on Jack and Lilly Sullivan. That's what it is. That's what it is, Daniel. That's what it is. We are not giving up on Jack and Lilly Sullivan. Neither is the RCMP. And so we're going to find them.
YouTube creators, they just go on and, they basically become delusional. They have their mob and they look to destroy.
Says the delusional mathematics man.
Or they're completely obsessed with me and the case.
Yeah, what have you learned about the truth?
Nope, we are not obsessed with you. Don't flatter yourself, you buffoon. we are obsessed with finding the truth to what leads to Jack and Lilly Sullivan. And whoever did it, again, you say it's criminal. You say that you think the RCMP thinks it's criminal. You should absolutely be looking just as hard.
Crime community.
That it's absolutely vicious, and I said this word a lot, but obsessive. And it's a lot of those creators in the true crime community, it's like,
Yeah, I don't guess I know
basically,
about that.
you know, talking to
What
like
she
a
read
barnyard
there.
animal, I guess you could say. It's, they don't add any value other than just being there.
Do you?
Wow. Thank you. You know what? You know what I think doesn't add value, Daniel? Let me just tell you. Let me just tell you. Because you're perfectly welcome to think that none of true crimers or anybody doesn't add any value to the case. You're perfectly welcome to believe that. But what I think doesn't add value is a man who is lying on a 4 and a 6-year-old. That's and is being charged with SAing and holding a woman captive, and someone who says that he wants to R someone in their sleep, and if they say stop, will just give it harder. I think that doesn't add any value to anyone. Someone looking at a reporter in their eyes right here and lying through their meth teeth.
Feel at
But that's just me.
this point things are getting worse? Or has it eased
The,
up at any point?
the community it's becoming more aggressive with their conspiracies and theories due to my lack of engagement online. I've received numerous death threats, and Major Crimes has, you know, notified me on that, and you know, they're working hard to basically get them under control and find out who's doing them.
How are these death threats coming in?
I mean, I get them daily on my phone. That's a normal thing, but Major Crimes was aware of them. I'm not sure if they came.
Well, nobody should be threatening you, number one. But number two, I don't believe that you get them daily. I don't believe you get them daily. And if you do, you would think somebody would be in jail for that. Somebody, God forbid, is threatening yours or anybody else's life. They need to be in jail. Just like someone who SA someone, they need to be in jail. Wouldn't you agree with that, Daniel?
For tips, call-ins, or some other way, but they didn't want to dive into that. They're pretty limited on what they can tell me about any of it. I mean, basically, because, you know, they don't want me to get worried and everything like that, but pretty serious stuff, I guess.
How are you dealing with that?
I'm dealing pretty well with it because, you know, nothing really scares me in that aspect. It's been 8 months, and I don't really put much thought into where much, you know, I don't recognize it as, you know, having any impact on my life personally. But I imagine a lot of individuals are probably like scared for me, I guess, because, you know, they care about me. But for me personally, I just see it as like another rock that skips off the water. There still is, you know, people with big hearts out there and open minds, but they're not on there posting. But I do have loyal supporters, and I appreciate every single one of them.
So now that we're coming up, getting to 9 months in this investigation, what's your sense? Where do you think the case stands?
I think the case, it's moving forward, but there is so much information to, you know, really, you know, examine and really go through before you can complete this part of information, then move to the next. And I mean, there's so many tips being called in, and then there's tips that are absolutely useless. Like when you see me out in public, don't call in a tip. I mean, that's just total nonsense. because you're slowing down the investigators and you're slowing down the social media team that they have. And, or the guy who checks the tips and he reviews the tips. I mean, you slow him down when you're just putting in tips that say, well, we've seen Daniel at a gas station buying a Gatorade, because that has happened.
Right. Wow. What would you like to see happen with this case?
I would like to see it closed and Lilly and Jack found safely, and someone is charged with criminal offenses.
Boy, that'll age well. That someone will be charged with criminal offenses. I hope the same, Daniel.
Because that's what you think.
Guys, please
will
hit
be
that
the
thumbs
result
up
here.
button.
Yeah.
Really
You
appreciate
don't think
it.
they're in the woods?
No.
Have your own theories shifted at all along the way?
They have, but they always come back to what I originally thought. After I just, go over all the information so many times, or lay in bed and go over everything in my mind from the very beginning to where it is now. The theories in my mind change, but I still have to go with what RCMP say, because they have the most information on the case.
Well, what the RCMP says publicly and what they're doing privately are two different things, right? Oh, really? Well, thank you, Soldier Girl. That's very kind of you. That's very kind of you. Wow. He's just a buffoon. He's just a buffoon. What is that? 1 second. Okay. What is this? I'm reposting this. Saw the domestic. Okay. I'm reposting this because my original post was reported. What happened was, who wrote this, chat? Who wrote this? Anita, Lilly and Jack, people want to know what happened, right? Well, this happened. People saw signs of DV. Malaya chose to live with Monster and turned a blind eye to it. Not all teachers and education assistants filed reports with Child Protective Services. Unfortunately, the CPS that went there in December turned a blind eye, and I understand DV is awful, but Lilly and Jack didn't have a choice. They didn't ask to stay with the abuser, and if their mom, Malaya, chose to stay there with the abuser, does anyone know who that is? Anybody see that? Patriot, thank you so much, my dear. Appreciate you, my love. And pisses me off is he told RCMP they wandered in the woods day one. Now he thinks they're not in the woods, girl. I want to bop him to the moon. Yep. He also says, I was led to believe that they were in the woods for the first couple days. You don't know who wrote it? Okay. This is the CPS approved babysitter for Cindy when she worked for Baby. Daniel goes, when does Daniel go to court? Monday? I've been talking, she helped to care for the baby. Gotcha. Okay, thank you, Belinda. Okay. Mom Malaya chose to stay with the abuser. That's her choice, especially after several people were ready to help her get out. My hurt and anger belongs to the system that's supposed to protect the children. The teacher and the educational assistants did their part. And in the case, I'm shocked no one talks about the failure of the CPS. I agree. Because honestly, if CPS would have taken those kids, Jack and Lilly would be here right now. They would almost certainly be here right now. And that really is just terrible. It's just terrible. And I think about the teachers as well, because teachers know it's not their first rodeo. And a teacher can only report. They can't make the decision for CPS. Right? Check Candy Star reading. Trigger warning. Who's Candy Star, honey? Hogtown Ollie. Who's that? Candy Star. Why is CPS always involved in these cases? Well, it's a colossal failure. This is. It just got to be so horrible for the teachers as well. Okay. Scott Armstrong, and why there needs to be public inquiry as to why Lilly and Jack were not removed from the horrible abuse and neglect, and Baby Meadow would have witnessed so much there. Yeah, but she wouldn't be able to speak or anything, but yeah. And I'm likely going to get some people angry with my post, but I can't turn a blind eye to the truth. And honestly, if I see or hear children in trouble, I'm calling, I'm intervening, and that's okay. I guess that's it. And there needs to be a public, after all of this is said and done, in my opinion, there needs to be a public inquiry. What was your rationale that a home like this with these conditions and the rug use and the violence and everything in the home, how do you conclude, and the bruises and all of this, how do you conclude that they were safe to stay there? Hey, Fundaski, good to see you, baby. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. They did. They did. He has filed for state custody for children for less than a blackout. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's really bad. And CPS in Nova Scotia, they don't have much of a system there, it seems like, as well. And they need more resources. They need more hires. They need a lot of stuff. It's beyond. It's beyond. Generally, if a teacher calls, you can almost take it to the bank that something's going on in that house. You can almost take it to the bank. Yes, they're trained to see and know and hear and all of that. But like if they see a bruise, the first time they see a bruise, they're unless it's something that stands absolutely out, they're not going to call DHS or CPS. It's something that is going to be repetitive. But this is the thing. And so you guys know my BFF. Her name's Tanya. She works for CPS. She's done it close to 20 years. And it's not easy to remove a kid, right? I mean, but it is if there is justifiable reasons, right? I mean, if there is rug use, I mean, it actually depends about the rug use, because in the home, if there's violence going in the home, if there's different reasons. If they want to take them out of that house, they can. And there's just if there is these. This is my thing. Okay, let's think about it like this. You know how Daniel's kids, and let me tell you something. I hope Belinda's listening to this. You know how Daniel's kids said that he abuses Jack and Lilly, right? Why didn't they talk to Daniel's other kids in December? Why didn't they talk to Daniel's other kids in December? I'll wait. Crickets. Right? Because they should have. They should have. If they were in that house, they should have. At any time, every other weekend, they should have. Right? So if there is kids that are there every other weekend, 36 to 48 hours. Actually, I think it's less than that. I had the hours that Daniel said, the hours that they were returned on Sunday or something. Why wasn't that mentioned? Why wasn't that checked? Right. It's crazy. I understand that the last thing you should want to do is tear families apart for no fucking reason. I totally get it. Totally get it. But we're not talking about those people. We're talking about the ones that is truly life and death. Right? Someone who is not capable of caring for themselves, let alone other living beings in the home. Very sad. Oh, Magic Star. Grandparents living. But Malaya wishes she was good until habit of happiness became her life. Yeah. I don't know. It's not about. It's really with kids and like to care for them. It's not about what you have. It's how you take care of it. It's how you take care of what you have. Whether you have a shack, it doesn't mean the shack has to be dirty. Right? It's about safety. CPS isn't there for you know, the anything other than the safety and the well-being. That's it. And now Jack and Lilly, unfortunately, are most likely gone forever. 4 and 6 didn't even start living. And that infuriates the shit out of me. And I hope whoever did this pays dearly, absolutely fucking dearly, for doing this to a 4 and a 6-year-old baby. Malaya had many options. She damn sure did. She damn sure did. She absolutely did. There was no damn excuse for it. You're a mother, be a mother. You're a father, be a father. It's that simple. It's that simple. Nobody's perfect by any stretch of the imagination. But damn, try. Try. Right? I don't trust the mother. She just shut up and leaves the next day and doesn't help look for the babies. No, because she knows where they were, in my opinion. She knew where they were, and Daniel pretended like he was looking. They both knew, in my opinion. Yeah. You know, this is the thing. If we just put effort into something, right? Like a real effort in really anything we do, whether that's being a parent, starting a hobby, a relationship, whatever. And as long as you're doing your best, you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Might not, again, it's not going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. But when, Malaya is, when Malaya and Daniel are too worried about who's in each other's phones and you're a cheating ass lying mother chicken and, and they're burning literally all their money up in their throat, in their nose, you're just not trying. You're just not trying. You just give it your best attempt. Right? Very sad, man. Are the RCMP allowed to investigate on native reserves? They can go on there, I'm sure, if they need to. But Jack and Lilly aren't on those reserves. They're not on those reserves. They were both caught up in their own lives. Yeah. To even parent. Yeah, that's all it was. Malaya has no excuse. It's not like Malaya didn't have a support system. She had a 1,000 times a better support system than a lot of single, or women who leave in the night with their kids with nothing but the street in front of them or in their car, because they know no matter what happens, and it's easier said than done. Fuck, I understand that. Nobody wants to be in that position. But they know if they're in their car, at least they're going to be safer than with some abusive motherfucker who's beating the hell out of you or your kids. All she had to do was go to her grandma's house, whom she just left. You know, she just dropped her credit card off, or her mom's house. That's all Malaya had to do. The baby's still in foster, yeah. And Meadow looks so much better. My God. My God. Thank the Lord. That baby looks so much better. She was small and did not look very well nourished whenever she first left that home. But I'm sure it's hard with, cracola residue fuming through the house at all times. And nothing but processed food and thrown at you. It's hard for them to thrive in an environment like that. And there's a lot of them out there. Yeah. And this, you just don't pick your parents. You don't pick your family. You got good parents or someone that raised you, you are incredibly blessed. Incredibly blessed. Thank you so much, Miss Joyous. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. With all the foster children we had, the parents all had rug issues and control problems. Yep. It seems nothing has changed at all these years. I have no answers, but something must be done about the abuse going on. 1000% Joyous. There's nothing new under the sun, the saying goes, right? And it's really as old as time. It really is as old as time. Whether it's usually rugs and abuse and or neglect. They kind of all go hand in hand. You know what I mean? They all kind of go hand in hand. And mental illness as well. There's someone's, if they're going through a time or whatever, and they'll start self-medicating, and then the self-medicating becomes, the lights are off, and then people start fighting, and then it just all rolls in to one. It's literally like a snowball. It starts out with one thing, and it just kind of gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Don't need any more babies magically disappearing from these people. Unfortunately, no baby should be missing or mistreated or whatever. They shouldn't be. I heard DM controlled and fed Meadow because he didn't want her to get chubby. Oh, I've not heard that, but Daniel is so incredibly insecure. Like incredibly insecure. You can read it all over him with everything about his life. And he lies big time to pump himself up. Right? It's not perfect for any of us. Life is not perfect for any of us. But fucking try. And he thinks he doesn't have a problem. He thinks he doesn't have a problem. And in my opinion, that says something about addiction as well. That he's living in his mom's very neglected home. Fine. His stepchildren are missing. He doesn't have custody of his daughter or his other kids, and he's there by himself. And he thinks that he's in control of the math. Whenever he says he does it every day and has done it for several years, and there is like fraud that he didn't, file and all that stuff before he went missing. Yeah, that's the only thing that like addiction you'll deny it. I will never forget when they called him. Oh, I will never forget when you called him a weasel. I've been looking at him trying to figure out how to describe his look, and you absolutely nailed it with the weasel. He acts like one too rude. Yeah, he's a little weasel. Daniel is a weasel. He thinks he's a clever weasel, though. I think it's only when he's out of his head, if you know what I mean. But he actually thinks he's a clever one, especially with the ladies, which is so funny. Like he thinks he's a smooth talker, he thinks. And he is with some of them, but he's a weasel. That's, Crazy Lamb. That's amazing. All right, y'all. I'm going to end it here. I've been here 3 hours. You guys are amazing. Really do appreciate you all. There was 3 different charges that Daniel's been charged with, but he goes to court in the next few days. It is now March 1st. It's after midnight here. The courts can cut off visits to M. If they get charged, they may lose M for good. Yeah. I don't think Daniel can take care of anybody. And I think Malia has a lot of maturing to do. The sad thing is, just because you can make a baby doesn't mean you are mature. Hold on. I'll tell you. Okay. He is charged with SA, sexual assault, and forcible confinement. Those are his charges. SA, just SA, and then ASSAULT, second charge. Third charge, forcible confinement. All right, guys. Much love, everyone. Really do appreciate you. You guys are rock stars. I will see you guys, Lord willing, tomorrow. Be good, everyone. God bless. Good night.